That moment when you hear a player and realize a fight is coming. You move into position, check your surroundings, and ready yourself for the fight. But then, you hesitate.
The voice of doubt starts to whisper. There are quest items in your bag. Maybe we can hide. Maybe we can go around.
And you start to remember all the times you failed to finish the fight. But then you clicked on this video. Got pumped. You got educated. And you will I don't know, maybe die a little less? So if you've been playing the Cycle Frontier, you've been this guy before. No, not the guy looting. You know the guy. This guy. The guy who starts the fight thinking he's done everything right, caught a person by surprise, shot the first shot, supposedly hit all his shots, and yet this happens. Fights in the Cycle can be chaotic affairs, but I've managed to break it down to its basic fundamentals to help make your time on Fortuna 3 a little more enjoyable. This will be catered primarily for solos and 1v1 scenarios, but you can take the principles and still apply them to 2v2s and 3v3s. But hopefully by that point, you'll be experienced enough to know when they no longer apply or when they apply even more. For the veterans watching, feel free to stick around and maybe comment down below something you'd wish you knew earlier than you did. Hopefully it helps somebody out. So a combat situation is broken down into 3 basic stages and 5 exclusive actions: the initiation, the follow-up, and the finish and/or reset. The initiation is broken down into 2 parts: the setup, being information regarding location, weaponry, and the movement of the opponent, and the execution, which is timing and damage. If your initiation is good enough, this ends the fight before it starts. If it's bad enough, it will set your follow-up phase up for failure. The follow-up phase is primarily your movement. While being at an HP advantage, it's important to maintain a distance close enough to prevent the opponent from healing up the damage you've done safely. Your position is also important. Be it on high ground or a path that has cover, it prevents the opponent from turning on you while you push. Or if they do, you have the space needed to reset instead of dying. The fight and/or reset phase is going to be about measuring that tempo and tempering the aggression to not just erase the progress you've made in the previous steps. During this point, how well you've kept track of your opponent's actions is going to determine your potential success. You don't want a fight to boil down to you trying to win a DPS race with even HP. Don't start the fight that way, don't try to finish the fight that way. As I mentioned before, there are 5 actions during a fight: sprinting, shooting, reloading, climbing, and using consumables, grenades or healing. Bear in mind, while you're doing one of these actions, you're not doing one of the others. Understanding this will help simplify my breakdowns even further, so let's get started. The first breakdown is as basic and pure as I could manage. I suspect I heard footsteps nearby and took a position to hear and confirm. Given the terrain and likely route the enemy will take, I take my sniper rifle out early so the noise won't give me away once they get closer. I check my surroundings, and shortly after, I confirm sprinting and it's coming directly at me. The initial shot was taken at a distance that would allow me to dip to cover quickly, but also not allow the enemy to push me before I switch weapons just in case I missed. The enemy spent vital moments shooting and not running with no damage to me for his efforts. I am still within lethal distance, so it's time for the follow-up. While running forward, I pay special attention to the sound he is making. I only hear sprinting, no reloading, and the beginning of a stim being activated. I can comfortably finish from here. As you can see, he wasn't able to complete the stim and was forced to switch weapons late. I was able to lazily hip fire the rest of his HP given the advantage I held. Take note that the time he needed to finish the stim and switch to his weapon was the time he spent returning fire initially. So this next clip is going to be way more of a struggle due to the opponent's skill and a few mistakes on my part. I've heard them fire a bulldog, sprint, and now out of breath, so there is no doubt where they are going, and what they have. I maintain high ground just in case they come into sight closer than I anticipated. I successfully land the shot, however he's experienced and sees cover immediately. I also don't switch to my scrapper or move in as fast as I should have, but the ticks are aggroed, which are working in my favor. I see an opportunity to gain position and hear him waste a shot. I press, but he escapes. By this point, I can hear that he's finished one stim and is about to finish another. Given that he has erased the majority of my HP advantage, I need to maintain high position for a potential reset scenario if no grenades connect. Once the grenade connects, I am right back into the follow-up phase where I am able to maintain maximum pressure with speed. I could have safely reloaded after the grenade hit while staying on top of the building. At the time, I felt the 10 rounds would be enough and didn't want to risk slowing down if he made a run for it. But it did leave me very little breathing room to finish had things not gone well. This next clip is a demonstration of what a fight looks like when the setup fails and it goes straight into a reset. For context, I recently killed a player here, took their phasic as a second weapon but forgot to get ammunition. I finish off the crusher, but before getting tunnel vision on his loot, I check my surroundings and see an enemy. I don't waste time firing and I immediately dodge to take cover. This clip is a great example because in this fight, the enemy is performing very well mechanically and I am not. My aim and my recoil management are horrible in this fight, but the understanding of position, timing, and tempo keeps me alive throughout this fight. For the sake of getting to the point, this fight's going to be sped up a little bit. So finally, I get a solid burst in with the phasic while being at high health. This will serve as the initiation phase, and now I was moving to the follow-up. I took too long switching to the brute, but I still closed the distance in time, which is really all I needed to do. Okay, so now that we have a good amount of examples, we're going to go through the remainder a little quicker. On the offense, you need to be able to close the distance and with speed. On defense, you need to create distance and buy time. I slid to dodge, I ran through bushes, and started dropping nades. 2 notes. First, I could hear him reloading after initiating. If he had another weapon, he could have been closer during the chase. It's always useful to have a second weapon for reasons like this. Second, even if I only hit with 1 nade, I would have been able to buy enough time and space to heal and reset. Instead, he overpushed and was killed by the second nade. Lucky for me. This one is pretty straightforward. I try to time my movement and my push during the time in which he's shooting to avoid giving away my position. I only managed to hit him once during initiation, so I can't really push with much of an HP lead, but I can maintain high ground just in case the trade goes poorly. The lesson here is your follow-up and how aggressive you can be is determined by how successful your initiation is. So on this last one, I have all the info I need to approach the position. I land an opening shot and successfully close without taking return fire. My goal really is to close the distance with the PKR, and my likelihood of success will be increased with my HP lead. Position is key in that I pick a route that will deny him the ability to continuously put out damage. Okay, so now you're educated, you can make your way down to Fortuna 3, kick ass, take names, and maybe die a little less. If you have any specific questions that the video didn't address, please ask in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. I'll be making some map knowledge videos, some tactical breakdowns of drops, and possibly some loadout guides. Let me know if there's anything similar content you want to see, and we'll see what happens. Happy hunting!